While some liberal donors in California are looking to help a Republican senator, Susan Collins, win re-election, a Democratic candidate in New York City for the mayoral race, Andrew Cuomo, is looking for Republicans to help him. Interesting. So at a Hamptons fundraiser on Saturday, he made it clear that he wants Republican President Donald Trump's assistance in defeating Zohran Mamdani, who does appear poised to win that mayoral race. So he even thinks Trump could tell GOP voters to not support the Republican nominee, Curtis Sliwa, in the November election and vote for Andrew Cuomo instead. He says, quote, "We can minimize the Sliwa vote because he'll never be a serious candidate, and Trump himself, as well as top Republicans, will say the goal is to stop Mamdani, and you'll be wasting your vote on Sliwa." So I feel good about that. Of course you do. Of course you feel good about that. This guy is such a pathetic loser. Anyway, publicly, of course, Cuomo has dismissed the idea of getting any help from Trump. But Cuomo,
he's a liar.
Of course. Who would want this guy as a leader of anything? Like leader of a household, leader of hot dog on a stick. I wouldn't want him leader of anything. This guy is a liar. He's ineffective at leadership. He got a ton of senior citizens killed during COVID because he demanded that elders who had COVID were sent back to nursing homes. He's just, ugh. Anyway, but Cuomo seemed hopeful for the president's help behind closed doors, speaking to the more Trump-friendly crowd gathered at media mogul Jimmy Finkelstein's home in Southampton, the ultra-wealthy Long Island enclave 80 miles east of New York City. So when an attendee asked Cuomo directly if he was coordinating with Trump, he would not confirm or deny it. And another co-host of the fundraiser was former New York City Council President Andrew Stein, who says that he talked to Trump just last month about how Cuomo had the best chance to beat Mamdani in the general election. And Trump may be receptive, Stein suggested. The president's heart is still with New York, and he doesn't want a communist and socialist running the city. Man, it looks like the powerful are really hell-bent on ensuring someone who thinks outside the box and actually wants to serve the interests of the people, doesn't win, doesn't ever get a chance to lead. So right now, Mamdani is leading in the polls, though. In fact, he's at 38.2%. Cuomo comes in second at just 23.2%. So Mamdani has a 15-point lead.
Yeah. So best thing that happened in this New York City race is the emergence of new ideas in the form of Mamdani. Whether you love the ideas or not, at least he's trying something new and different. So I love that. Okay. And I'm curious to see how it's going to work out. And it's much better than the status quo because the status quo is killing us everywhere. Prices are way too high on housing, transportation, etc. Right? Second best thing that happened in this race is the Curtis Sliwa line about Cuomo, that he's killing grannies and slapping fannies.
Yes.
Okay, and he repeats that all the time now. And I gotta be honest, I laugh every time. Okay, now the third best part of what's happening in this race is the corporate Democrats' mask off moment, right? So the minute they're in a little bit of trouble, they squeal to their friends on the right. Oh, Republicans, secretly we're on the same team, right? High five, right? So Andrew Cuomo not denying it means, yeah, he definitely talked to him. Because if you're a Democrat running for office in a deeply blue city,
right,
and somebody says, hey, are you conspiring with Donald Trump? The obvious and easy answer, if you're not, is, oh, hell no. Or just no, right? No, the fact that he's not saying no means, oh, definitely. And then he's like, well, I technically, I don't want to say anything. Wink. Let me bring on Andrew Stein here. And Stein's like, oh yeah, Trump, baby. All you Democrats out there, you ready to help Trump and have Trump help us? Oh, that's what we thought, uniparty. Well, we knew it from day one. I told you Cuomo, all he does is work for the donors. Republican, Democrat donors, what difference does it make? He handed the city over to the wealthy real estate interests who are his donors. He did a corruption commission. The commission found out who the culprit is, him. He shut it down immediately. He's like, I didn't ask you for the truth. What are you guys, crazy? I was hoping you'd lie and smear my opponents. Right? So he shut down that commission. So this mask off moment is now national. So as we reported earlier in the show, all of a sudden Democrats are fundraising for Susan Collins, the person they theoretically most wanted to defeat, because she's in a state that Biden won, Kamala Harris won. That's a seat that you could definitely pick up, right? But they're like, no, thank you, no, thank you. We prefer Israel, we prefer corporate rule, we prefer neoliberalism. So they're all trying to go in that direction. Lastly, good news, Anna. This is a terrible strategy. Okay, so have at it, Hoss.
Why? Why do you think it's a terrible strategy?
Oh yeah, for a couple of reasons. So number one, Eric Adams embraced Donald Trump, and his polling
worked out really well for him.
Yeah, his polling went down to 6%. You're not running in Alabama, you're running in New York City. Embracing Trump is like embracing the Penguin in Gotham.
So people weren't buying the trash revolution?
No, apparently not for the Eric Adams. Or they think that, yeah, part of the trash revolution is taking that trash out. Okay, also Eric Adams, another corporate Democrat known for corruption, right? So Andrew Cuomo running a super old school campaign and then embracing Trump and trying to get the Republicans to vote for him in New York.
They might though.
No, look, so one joke they did at the end did concern me because it's not really a joke, okay? There's only like one way that Cuomo has a chance with this strategy. So if Adams and Sliwa stay in the race, they take way too much percentage for Cuomo to have a chance, right? So that's why he's desperately trying to drive them out. At the end, they joke about, somebody asked him, is it legal or ethical to offer Adams something to get him out of the race, okay? Now remember, I told you guys a couple of weeks ago, what they're gonna try to do is give Adams and Sliwa really important jobs on Wall Street as consultants. Your political acumen is what we need. Here's $2 million, get out of the race, right? So one of the donors asked Cuomo, and it's interesting because it's in the article, right? And Cuomo does a joke, says, it is neither legal nor ethical, but let me bring up Andrew Steinbach to answer how you can do that.
And look, as we know from the charges that were eventually dropped against Eric Adams because he was willing to play ball with the Trump administration on deportations, he's a cheap hoe. Like, it doesn't take much, like plane ticket upgrade and he'll do your bidding.
Yeah. No. He gonna get bought. Okay, so that'd be shocking if they couldn't buy Adams, because Adams has no chance of winning this race. He's in it for the money anyway, right? He's a crook, so they're going to be able to buy him off. But that only picks you up max 6 points, okay? And remember, people don't vote in the way that people like consultants, etc. think. No, some of that vote will go to Mamdani and surprise you. Right? Okay, then you go to Sliwa, and that's where they have their real problem. Because these days, crazy guys like Sliwa actually have a chance of winning. It's not like the old days where Sliwa would have gotten 2% and getting laughed out of the room, right? Now he's sometimes polling at 22%, and he's just thinking, this has been, if you don't know Sliwa, he's been in New York for the last 200 years, wearing that silly beret.
Yeah, vigilante crime fighter.
Yeah, and so he's been dreaming about being the mayor of New York his whole life. So it's gonna be much harder to drive him out of the race, especially because he's polling at a real number.
Right.
And I don't think it's impossible for Sliwa to do better than Cuomo.
I don't think it's impossible either, yeah.
Yeah, because Cuomo represents no one but the super rich, right? So whereas Sliwa could actually get like blue collar guys from Staten Island, etc., who are sick of the crime and want to try Sliwa, right? So, and in fact, they might even, don't tell them this, but they might be better off getting Adams and Cuomo out of the race and backing Sliwa, okay? But they're never gonna do that. So I think it's gonna be a hot mess, and this is not the right strategy for them, so I'm kind of relieved. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.